Hello, I'm Joey Haskins, and welcome back to You've Never Seen, in which I showcase a movie you've probably never seen before. You know, in hindsight, there were a lot of movies I wanted to do for my world tour a while back, but never got the chance to do. One of those films that I decided to do for this week is The Raid. The Raid is a 2011 Indonesian action film directed and written by Gareth Evans. It tells of an Indonesian police squad who raid the complex owned by a drug lord, only for them to be trapped inside and have to fight their way out. The film stars Iko Uwais, Joe Taslim, Dani Alamsyah, and Yayan Ruhian. The Raid is a movie that made the festival rounds when it came out. It was highly praised by everybody and was the beginning of an unexpected franchise. This movie is fast, brutal, suspenseful, and awesome. Gareth Evans had moved to Indonesia to film a documentary about Pencak Silat. Pencak Silat is the native Indonesian fighting style and is used primarily in the film, taught by Uwais and Ruhian. But there are also uses of karate, judo, and taekwondo, among others. After directing the film Merantau, Evans and his team started to work on a prison gangster film that stars Uwais and Ruhian. However, development for that idea didn't move forward for a while, so the film was condensed to a shorter, simpler, less expensive concept. This was The Raid, and they set it out to make it different from Merantau. Audiences had complained that that film took too long to get to the action, so in The Raid, Evans kicks off the action from the beginning and does not stop. And the action? It's pretty good. Like, insanely good. The crew shot some of the film handheld without a Steadicam. They also shot the film in high definition, trying not to do it on film, focusing primarily on digital. They shot action sequences on a small rig so they can have rapid movement without it looking too shaky. And the action moves so quickly that lighting was very difficult. To combat this, the crew put the lights on long poles and followed the camera's rapid movements during action sequences. The action is, of course, the highlight of the film. Almost every single one takes place in a narrow hallway or grimy room, and they are infectious to watch. There's at least one scene in this film that, whatever it is, somebody will watch again and again and again. My favorite, though, is the last one between three of the main characters. It's something that grows intensely the longer it goes on. And for as far as this film goes, it's not for the faint of heart. This film is a bloody fanfare that can only be made in another country. There's no way in hell that America could ever make a film like this. And it's a pretty basic story with some basic characters. Some people criticize the film for its lack of character development, but it's not a film that really requires it. The characters have clear, concrete personalities and goals and are easy to hook onto before the story starts. Most of them are dead by the end as well, so it's not that big of a deal. But since it's a foreign film about cops, the cops are not seen as the best people. It's rare for a cop movie in the US to have the cops be antagonistic. There are cases of dirty cops working for criminals, but never about cops just being bad people in general. Foreign films allow that to happen, so in The Raid, a lot of the cops shoot first no matter who it is they're shooting at, even innocent people. When does the film even do that, where they talk about the brutality they show? The Raid does show the cops being brutal, and most of them die in the process. Of course there are dirty cops, but it says something that bad cops are featured more prominently in this film. The Raid was a film that was very popular when it came out. It premiered at the Toronto Film Festival in 2011 and was picked up by Sony Pictures Classics. But they couldn't acquire the rights to that specific title, so they called the film The Raid Redemption, which allowed Evans to make more movies. The Raid was made on a $1 million budget, which is tiny, and made $9 million back. And with its popularity, Evans still wanted to make the initial prison gangster film, and was able to make that film with The Raid 2. That film was also critically successful, but not as much financially. There were plans for a third film as well, but they never came to fruition. The film's premise is very similar to the film Dread, which we covered a few weeks ago, but it's very different from that in many ways. The Raid is uniquely its own thing, and if you love action films, you will love The Raid. You can watch the film for free on Pluto TV, or with an Amazon Prime subscription, or you can check it out at your local library. This show is planning a big retrospective next episode, and I need some time to work on it more, so no new episode next week. But the week after, we'll begin a special 6-episode retrospective. With Weston Media Center, I'm Joey Haskins, and I'll see you all next time.